Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Yeah, Tuesday. What's up, everybody? Tuesday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson, as we are up in the early morning hours here. The S&P up 15 after what was a record bullish day yesterday. Hopefully you were able to grab some of that big move up as we will review some of the levels that we looked at here in the Daily Market Commentary. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you come here regularly, be sure to join us tomorrow night for our open forum. Open forum session is designed for you to ask any questions you want regarding trades. All you got to do is join our free preview week at TradersArmy.com. You know, we had our Sunday night was so big. There were so many people that joined us. We actually had to go out and upgrade our software and get a new room. But we really want to do that and be able to provide for those of you that want to take a look at what we do at Traders Army. So go to TradersArmy.com today, sign up for a free membership, and join us tomorrow night for our open forum. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. So the ES this morning, we're up 14 points. I want to remember that we don't take the lines off the charts, right? We always leave our lines on the charts because it tells us a story of what has happened, allows us to see levels that worked and didn't work. And so as I look at yesterday when we were doing the daily market commentary, we were sitting right above this level here for a little breakdown, and we talked about this area right here being our best opportunity to get long. Now, this was a confirmation entry, so this gave us a strong confirmation entry, and we got to move away. Now, it went from 29.20 to 30.36, giving you about a 100-point move on that target. It was a really strong move. Do me a favor, leave me a comment down below. Were you able to catch any of this move yesterday? Even if you didn't catch all of it, were you able to catch any of that move yesterday as it came right to our target? Now, unfortunately, this was set in here as a confirmation entry, so there's no entry here. The reason this was a confirmation entry was because of this wick that we'd had touch into this area here, so we made it a confirmation. It would have been a nice little small time frame entry to pull another. You know that. I mean, it's a small move, but I mean, 30.37 down to 29.98. That's still 30 points. That's a pretty hefty move on the futures market. It just doesn't seem all that big compared to the magnitude of the move we've had in the last few days. And then we popped up through at the end of the day rally. So the markets did give us a lot of bullish momentum yesterday, but I want to take a look at the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, we don't necessarily have an uptrend yet. Yes, we had a big bullish momentum day, but do we truly have an uptrend? The answer to that would be no at this point. Matter of fact, when I look at this, just pulling from here to here, and if I add my Fibonacci retracements to this, just so that everyone can kind of see, I'm just going to add 38.2, 50%, and 61.8. We are sitting, we passed the 31.2, but right there at the 50% retracement, we're seeing a little bit of a supply area. So technically, we're still in a 4-hour downward trend. Now, I do want to highlight the fact that even though we're in a downtrend, doesn't mean I can't get long. And so if you want to get long, I think we've got a potential breakout opportunity right here. Now, with the strength of the move up and this breakout opportunity coming in, I'm going to look to remove this 15-minute level because I think that the better target is this hourly level up above. And that hourly level up above, when I go to the NASDAQ, you'll see why I've got that level highlighted, because there's really, we talked about it yesterday, these supplies are not overly clean coming up into this region. So, I need a little bit of basing here, but we should be able to get a decent little breakout pop above here for a little run. If I look at the NASDAQ, you see a very similar picture. These are our NASDAQ levels, and my NASDAQ wick over wick supply area is up above me here at 90.93. So that's kind of the level I'm looking at today for the NASDAQ. And if we make it through here, if we make it through that level, then I'm going to have a higher swing high, and then I have shifted trend directions again. And this is something to just kind of concern ourselves with. this is what I call a pivotal point. A pivotal point is, I sometimes you'll hear me use the term, it's an inflection point, and it's an area that we really need to pay attention to. Is this the area where we're going to see price turn? In a crude oil market, I was so disappointed. I was really hoping that we would get a little bit of a retest into this 15-minute level, and that son of a gun missed us by just a bit. Did not give us the opportunity to get in. I had spoken yesterday about the overall probability that prices are going to continue to go a bit higher, and it was really a fundamentally driven probability. The fact that off of our daily chart, we were sitting there at this 42 area, and that's really where the oil companies are saying, okay, well, I don't have much profit below this $42 a barrel. And so there's a fundamental reason to drive it higher. So we talked about that in our Sunday Night Live trade room for all of you that made it in. And so my bullish sentiment was definitely there. Unfortunately, I didn't really get a good enough opportunity for an entry. I didn't get a clean basing for the breakout here, and I didn't get a pullback to my 15-minute level. So that's frustrating. I'd love to give a better answer than that, but that's just sometimes how the market moves, and it's okay if it moves away without you. Don't get too frustrated. I'm going to look at this little wick over wick area here as a potential reversal point if we do come back down today for a chance to get long. Next would be gold. Gold picked up a little bit of momentum, really rallied up just a little bit. And so now I've got this little wick over wick area of supply that I would be looking for in gold. But other than that, not a whole lot extra to add. Just make sure that is a confirmation entry. Moving over to bonds. Let's slide over to bonds and currency markets. In our 10-year note, we didn't add really any levels yesterday because it didn't seem like there was any quality area until down in this region. So there may be some demand somewhere in here. Now, that's really found off of the 4-hour chart of this little doji that we have inside of here before a big move up. So if price comes back into here, we could be looking for a reversal. Nothing more to add to that, I think, today. Just because we have a new day doesn't mean that we need to add a new level every single time, and that's what I would say on this one. Looking at our Aussie levels, now the Aussie, unfortunately, we got a little bit of a touch, got a nice little move away. I was looking at this level as a potential area where we might see a bit of a breakdown, but just not a whole lot happened, right? It was just, it kind of chopped around. We didn't get a true entry because it didn't base in front of that level for price to come back down. We didn't get a true, stop out on this thing. We came down from it, hit what our target would be, and then we came back into it again. So when we see this, that it hits this kind of a level on a couple of occasions, that changes to now I'm looking for a breakout to the upside. And that gives me an upside breakout candidate right in here. And I would be looking to see if we break out to the upside, knowing that this would be my first target. Although we did do a nice touch and go off of this level, I think the better probability is that we'll pop through it the second time we touch it, just based on that momentum, if indeed that we do. Now, our 4-hour, this is the first time I've said the words long and Aussie in a while together, because I've had no reason to do so for months, basically. Looking at the euro's strong bullish trend is continuing. So in a strong bullish trend, what does it mean for all of our supply levels above us, right? We're in a 4-hour, very strong bullish trend. It's ripping up high. And so every supply level above us shifts to a confirmation entry in a bullish trend. Remember that we have our trade optimization plan, our top performing trades, where we score the trade, and the score is reduced when we are trading against the trend, forcing all of our levels to be confirmation entries. So this one, we hit the level, blew right through, so no entry on here. We hit the level here, popped through, no entry here. So neither one of those gave us a real reason for an entry inside of this move up. Now, if you're still long from our level back in here where we had the breakout, then you're doing really, really nicely. You've gotten a nice move. I see a little bit of basing in here where we could come back down. I'm not willing to take the short on this. It doesn't give me enough basing. I've got one touch, two touch. I'd need a third touch, and if we come down from here, I don't know that I have room to roam with this demand right there. So I'm not going to take the short in this instance. My demand area down here still stands as a good potential reversal point. And then the Canadian dollar. So the Canadian dollar, we didn't have anything on the chart because it was just not a clean, there was just nothing here that was clean levels. And so looking at not having really anything on the chart, I'm going to put a line here because I think this would be where we saw support, 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 resistance, resistance. If I get some basing in here, we could see a breakout above this level. So keep an eye on this level here at 75, 129 as a potential breakout point. Moving over to the Great British Pound and Japanese Yen. So in our pound levels, we have seen a little bit of stagnation, and we're seeing a little bit of a descending triangle pattern. Not a perfectly clean descending triangle pattern by any stretch of the imagination, but just keep an eye on this. We're getting selling pressure in all of these with all these upper wicks. So if I get basing below here, keep an eye there for a breakdown. And then our Japanese yen level, we keep coming close to this area and not able to get filled. And usually that turns into a breakdown more than a reversal. I'll leave the reversal in place if price comes into here and we see, something move higher. But for the meantime, we're just going to leave it in place at this point. So those are the levels that I'm kind of looking at for today. I don't have a tremendous amount of trades, I think, that are super close. I would keep an eye on the S&P levels. I think the S&P levels make some good sense for a potential breakout here, so keep an eye on that level as we come down, and then our crude oil levels down below. But that's all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, as always, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'll talk to you soon. See you.